Hey friends, it's Tammy. Hope you're well today. I'm going to be teaching you how to create a beautiful vase that are great for gifts and just beautiful art pieces to sell even. So I'm using an old vase, and this is one that I had done earlier and didn't care for it too much. So I'm just resining over it. And so I've already got a very thin layer, but full coverage. And I'm using right now some Let's Resin opaque inks and just randomly placing it on. And I'll also be using some Pinata Gold and Ranger, Pinata White and Ranger Gold. And I'm just randomly placing my drops on, making sure that I cover areas including the bottom of the vase and up around the neck and edge of the vase. It's just very random where I'm making my drops. I'm just trying to make sure that I have coverage pretty much of the vase. In this technique, you'll see that your droplets spread quite a bit, covers quite a bit of the area. And it will continue to move for the first, I'd say hour to 2 hours. Now I'm going to go in with my white, and I'm going to hit over the colors that I had put down before so that it will lighten and brighten and blend those colors. And helps to make them even a little bit more opaque. I'm just going to add layers as I feel like I need them. And now I'm going to introduce the gold, and I'll just, a word of caution that you want to be mindful that the gold will take over if you add too much of it. So you just want to be a little more strategic in placing your gold. And that's the same with any of the metallics and your alcohol inks. Now back with the opaque inks again, and just any areas that still have my initial pour showing through, I'm going in and trying to provide more coverage of those areas. I don't mind a little bit showing through, but I want the majority of it covered. But exactly what I'm doing right now is exactly how you would do it if you were doing your first initial resin vase. When adding pigments or inks to your vase and you're trying to cover the bottom, if you just put it right on that very edge, it'll drip down over the bottom of your vase. Now I'm using a very small, oh shoot, torch. But I would warn you that if you don't have experience with this, you really need to use a heat gun, because these are alcohol inks and nobody wants to get burned. And again, just making sure that I have coverage over all the areas of my vase. Now we'll let this rotate for 24 hours. I like for mine to be completely dry before I turn off the rotator. Applying heat, like from the torch or from a heat gun, will cause those pigments to move and shift as well. And here we are the next day, and I am going to apply another layer of resin over my pour. There are some gold areas that kind of did morph together, and that are a little bit strong for my liking, and so I'm going to try to break those areas up. But I'm not trying to cover the whole vase this time. So I've got the Resin alcohol ink in ocean green. And the bluish mica that I showed you here. I don't know the name of it. It came in a package that are like little sample size tubes of it from Michael's, but it went really well on this particular piece. So you see me there really going into that gold area and trying to break things up a little bit. um, between your layers, like after you've done your first initial resin with alcohol inks, if you have a lot of dimpling or areas uneven surface on your vase, you may need to do a very light sand, just to scuff it up before you add your next one, and then just wash it down with Dawn soap, and then let it dry completely before adding more clear resin to it, and then adding pigments to it. That will help for you to get some of those dimplings out. So I'm just continuing to add the mica and any of the alcohol inks at this point until I feel comfortable with the way it looks. And it's looking a whole lot better now that I've broken some of that up. You can still see the gold under it, but it's not quite as harsh. I hope y'all can see that, and it's being translated on video. Now, after the making of this tutorial, I'll show you some completed pictures of how this did turn out. And I would appreciate it so much if you would give me a thumbs up on this video. I'd love for you to subscribe. I try to upload new videos once a week, usually on Fridays or Saturdays, until I can get on a little bit of a better schedule. But once a week anyways. And I'd just love for you to be part of my art family here. Okay, so we're going to let that spin again. And here's the final project. Thanks for joining me, friends. See you next time.